So, what you're going to do is to get an air ticket as soon as you can, because the air ticket, the price can be sometimes quite costly. So check the best way to come all the way from Sri Lanka to Melbourne. So yesterday I came via Singapore. Last time, I think I met some of the familiar faces here. Last time I came with a direct flight. And then when I check, there seems to be some other option. So if you don't know what to do, check with Sandy and also with Sarah in terms of best way to get yourself organized and bring enough suitcases to Melbourne. Okay. Now Melbourne currently is summer, so it's quite hot now. So by the time when you arrive, it will be also during sort of like the end of summer. Last year, we start putting on extra layers from April. So it depends whether you like winter or not. If you are not a winter person, so make sure you have multiple layers. I always say dress like an onion. So you have multiple layers. Okay, so, well, these are some of my backgrounds. I think last time I shared with you, I was born in Hong Kong. My dad is a Korean. My mom is a Chinese. And then I went to Japan, Singapore, Malaysia, and then South Australia, Queensland, and now I'm currently in Victoria. So I don't know where you will work in the future. Doors are now open for you. Once you get the teacher registration in Australia, you can move around. And then you might also want to work overseas. Some of my graduates currently teaching in UK, Canada, and the US as well. It really depends what you would like to do, where we. And I also briefly mentioned to you some of the background information about early childhood education in Australia. So you can see on the top left-hand side, this is the number of children currently in care in Australia. But what I would like you to pay attention to is the one on the top right-hand side. How many accredited centres currently in Australia? Because those are your future workplace. You are going to work in one of them or some of them, depends on where you would like to do. Now, children usually spend 26 hours per week in those centres. You might say, how come it's 26 only? Because in Australia, early childhood education is not compulsory, but highly recommended. So teachers and also parents will encourage children to go to childcare centre. And for example, one thing you will see in Australia is that, let's say on Monday, you will see little Yasara in the centre. Tuesday, you will see little Sandy in the centre. And then Wednesday, you will see little Bonnie in the centre. So every one of us has a different schedule, timetable, depends on my parents, depends on what I need, where I live. But each child in Australia currently have a minimum of 15 hours of access to a qualified teachers in Australia. So it's offering. So government will cover a minimum of 15 hours of access to a qualified teachers. Okay, so last time I briefly mentioned these 5 key things to you. And now I want to move to the next level, a little bit more details, so you can prepare yourself. And for those who are still thinking to move on to your next journey in Australia, this will also give you a picture. So number 1 is about active learning. Now, when you are in Australia, in childcare centres, make sure you dress in a very comfortable way. Now, give you some good example. Anyone is in a good covered shoes today? Good. So make sure your foot are covered, because you will be in the sand, in the mud. You will go to the bush. You will go to the outdoor area a lot. And Australia has 4 seasons in a day, particularly in Melbourne. That means in the morning, it will be super hot. In the afternoon, it will be super rainy. And then in the evening, it will be super windy. So make sure you have multiple layers and try to cover your feet whenever you can, so you can go outdoor much easier. All of you dress properly, pass. So I can see all of you dress so comfortable. Something like this, myself and Sandy, we are not pass. Because we're dressing something like this, it's not easy for us to move around and play, sit down and work in a very messy way with children. And also Yasawa is not passed in a good dress, so she can't work in a childcare center today, unfortunately. So make sure you dress comfortably, and also so that outdoor play is one of the key things in Australia. You will need to go out a lot. So make sure you have something to cover your head if that is a rainy day. You can't open an umbrella because you can't hold an umbrella and then play with the children. Too busy. So make sure you have enough clothing. Now this is the guideline for children's physical play in Australia. So you can see even little one for infant is 30 minutes, which is active play. And also what we call the tummy time. Tummy time, that means we, instead of lying facing the floor, we put them with the tummy facing the floor. So they can move a bit easier. We call it tummy time. And then also quite lots of different activities, requirement based on the guidelines. That means when you are there, you will need to be physically active all the time. Because if we expect children to be that level, you will also expect to be that level as well. So stay healthy, eat healthy. So I will show this one. Okay, common question. What to pack into your suitcase when you come to Australia? So comfortable shoes, comfortable wear. Don't bring any Prada, Chanel, LV, those big brands, because it will get super messy. Something easy to wash, something you can take it off and also put it on easily, okay? And also depends on your size. My size in Australia sometimes will be very hard to get pants because I'm tiny. So if you think you're a bit tall like Sandy, she will be perfect to get pants in Australia because she's much taller than me. So get something that you think you would definitely need here and put into your suitcase. But most of the things can be, you can get easily in Australia. So I don't know, Sandy, last time when you were in Melbourne, have you got a chance to, for example, look at some of the supermarket or convenience store or something around?
Such a tight schedule, but what I did notice was there's so much convenience. Everything's at your fingertips, especially, you know, you'll get used to the neighborhood that you're in very quickly, and a lot of student accommodation if you opt to stay out of the teaching residences. So some of you opt to stay in the res, some of you may not get a place together. So what I do notice is there's so much convenience. So, and even late at night, there's always something for an emergency. But clothes, I think, of course, there's such a huge spectrum. I would say from Sri Lanka, I would even, because it's still a huge spectrum, but there's still a currency exchange. You know, there's a currency difference. So you can pack some layering items even from here, because this country, Bonnie, it's a key producer of garments. So there's a lot of high quality export quality sort of layering and winter jackets, something waterproof, stuff like that. Just the basic things like that Johnny when you lie about Johnny, you know I'm called Johnny. You're the one who had the late flight, yet I'm the one who's talking.
That's your coffee, I think it's coming, right?
So as Bonnie said, just those basics, have a little checklist, and you guys can help each other out as well. I'm sure, come on, these are young girls, they know what shop. Absolutely. But I know that you can ask us, yes, Sarah, there's certain places that will have certain layering and warm weather clothing. Yeah. I've found that a lot of transferring students tend to buy things like big jackets and stuff can be quite expensive when you go so yeah. And maybe some sunscreen since it'll be out a lot.
Yes, you'll be out a lot. Correct. Yes. And also, while that's a good reminder for the hats as well. When you are in center, there's a policy called no hats, no play. So that means all children, before they go out to play, they must wear a hat, and they will expect the teachers to do the same. So that means you will need to put on a hat, and usually you have a bit of grip so that you can cover your neck as well. So it's not a cap, so it's really a hat. When I was working in the center, I used to put the sunblocks on my hand because we work a lot on papers. That's why I tend not to put the sun cream on my hands. So I do it this way. Okay, and guess what? It's actually not a very good role model for children. And you can see all children do exactly the same. Instead of doing this, and they do this only. So just be mindful when you do anything, children will look at you. They will just copy whatever you do. So in the center, they will show you what to do and how to put the sun cream on properly. But just be mindful when you do the paperwork, there will be lots of sun cream everywhere on the paperwork as well. So those are the funny things in Australia. Now for the name badge, when you go out for center for placement, some center might give you a name badge to wear. So just make sure that it's somewhere you can hang it safely because children will grab you. And so those are the things just to be mindful. And minimum necklace or rings or anything, okay? Keep it in your safe. Otherwise you will end up with lots of sand and mud and everything. So remember when you are in Australia, you are there to learn, you're there to experience. So make sure you have the different experience in Australia. Okay, how to greet your lady. So sometimes the center will give you one. And sometimes you can just go to some of the stationery store and just get the empty plastic and with a pin in the back. And you can just stick a piece of paper. It's okay to forget about it. Now, babies and toddlers, in Australia, this is a very important placement for you to do. So it's a compulsory component as part of your Bachelor of Early Childhood Education program. That means you must complete a PACE placement with babies and toddlers before you officially graduate. Okay. Now, when you're working with babies and toddlers, the good thing is that, well, they love to be with you, they love to stay close with you, and also depends on the arrangement. Some center will do the primary caregiving system. That means one of the teachers will look after 3 to 5 children, and it's sort of like what we call the primary caregiver. That means you are the key person to work directly with the children and the parents, but you still need to look after the children. Okay? The reason why they have the primary caregiving system, so that as a parent, let's say Yasara is the parent, and I'm the primary caregiver, Yasara only needs to come and talk with me instead of talking to the other 10 teachers every day and tell the same story. So I will build up a very strong relationship with the parents. And the parents can come and ask me anything about the children. Now remember, in the beginning I mentioned, you will see different children different days. Monday, you see little Mary. Tuesday, you see little Johnny. And then Wednesday, you will see little Peter. So the primary caregivers will need to actually look after quite a lot of children. Make sure you remember their name. And also, if you think you are not good at remembering children's names, put a note. Write down some notes. Some way where you can remember names properly and quickly. Because children love that you remember their names. Okay, now this is the child educator ratio in Victoria. This is the place where you are going to work and also where you are going to have your placement. Victoria has the best child teacher ratio. So you can see you have a fewer number of children to one teachers as compared to other states. For example, South Australia, New South Wales, and also some other states, they have a high ratio. Victoria has the best. That means you have a smaller group of children. That means they need more teachers. So it will be easier for you to find a job. So for the babies and toddler placement, that will be usually in here. That means you'll be expecting to working with children and their parents in this age group. Now, for this group of children, some of them can be super tiny. That means they can be premature baby. And some of them can be super chubby because of the obesity in Australia is still a big problem. So think about how you're going to work with such a wide range of children with different size, different hair color, different skin color, and they can't talk to you in words yet. So they will show to you in body language. Okay, so it's a compulsory placement. So when you are in Deakin, the year 1 placement, you get the RTL. That means you don't need to do the first one, which is the 5-day. But you still need to do the infant and toddler 20 days at the end of your program. Okay? So, and then you also have the 45-day and the 15 days in the different things, depends on the setting. So if you are in Bachelor of Early Childhood Education, then you will only need to do kindy, and then this one kindy as well. Okay? Now for the 45 days, it's in block. That means you will go there, let's say Monday to Friday, you will go to the center. You don't need to come back for classes. So you will spend the whole Monday to Friday in the center. Whatever the center do, you will go with them. If the center say, we will go to the bush kindy for the whole day, set up the fire outdoor, regardless of rain. Okay? So when you are there with the bush kindy, even it's a rainy day, even it's a strong wind, super strong wind, they still go. So weather is not our concern. It's only whether you wear the proper things. So we always say there's no bad weather, only bad clothing. Okay, so make sure you wear the proper one. Okay, any questions so far about babies and toddlers? I would imagine that will be one of the key focus, one of the most exciting experience for some of you if you have very limited experience of working with babies and toddlers. Any questions about this? Excited and work with the parents, and we can let the professional teachers and the principal know, and then the principals can refer the teachers and refer the parents and the child to a medical support service, for example. So this is actually our job to have early identification. You need to be able to identify them. Whether this is a mainstream child or this one, seems like a bit of concern. I might need to do a bit more on systematic observation. Now remember, you are not a medical doctor. I am not a medical doctor. We are not there to diagnose, but we are there to identify. Okay? So there's a difference between diagnosis and also identification. So good point, Sandy. If you have any question, concern, always check with your supervised teachers. The supervised teacher is the qualified teachers in the center, or check with the principal. And also don't scare the parents too soon, too early. If you see something and say, don't go to the parents, say, I think your child has autism or autism. So don't scare them too soon, too early, unless you talk with the teachers, get enough observation systematically, get enough evidence, and then talk with the parents in a very professional way. As a student teacher, they might not allow you to talk to the parents directly. They might always work with the supervised teachers. Okay? And also some center, also they won't allow you to do the toiletry by yourself because of safety, child abuse, safety issue, child protection issue.
Communication, speaking to parents, like I got to observe, and I actually, after I worked for about 6 months, I got to shadow my own child, so I had to speak to the parents and I understand about the system and how those parents also rely on you a lot because they are also kind of like I don't know what the kingdom best for my child, so if that bond also is like really important, I feel like, to build that connection with the parents, their own child. So yeah, and then you see the difference in the child once you have a stronger bond with the parents, because then you can tell them, oh, this is what works at school, maybe you should try this at home, maybe this might work. And sometimes you see improvement, sometimes you see a step taken back, and you're like, okay, this is not going to work next time. And you get a lot of support from the other teachers as well. There's class teachers, principals, everyone helps you out as a child. So.
Excellent. Yes, same thing, very similar then. In Australia, everyone's work for the children and with the children. So make sure you work with colleagues. And also remember, your supervised teachers, he or she doesn't know what you doesn't know. So make sure you let the teachers know what you want to know more. Don't sit there and wait for the supervised teacher to guess what's in your head. It's impossible. No way for the supervised teachers to know how to support you. And some of them may have never been to Sri Lanka. some of them have no idea what is your background, what is your cultural context. For example, you have a really wide range of experience of working with children here already. But if you don't let the supervised teachers know, there's no way for he or she to better understand you. Okay? So it's more about teamwork. Teamwork is very, very important in Australia. Okay, before I go to culture, any other comments, questions so far? No? Multicultural society. You can see children, different size, different skin color, different hair color, but they are all your children. They are all your children in your classroom, and you have the role and responsibility to look after them. In school, we call they are your children, your learners, and your students. They are not your clients, they are your students. But if you are in a psychology, that might be another story, another term to use. Okay? So when you have the multicultural society, one of the things is that, well, maximize your language abilities. If you can speak something more than English, let the center know. Because every now and then, there might be some parents, they need other language support. It would be great for them to know that, oh, you can speak more than, well, English. So for example, this is a very small one, but you can see some of the language where some of you might be able to contribute some way, somehow in Victoria, in your settings. Let the center know. They'd love to have someone who can speak more than English. Now, these are the people born in Sri Lanka. That means most probably you may see some children who are coming from Sri Lanka and in your center. Now, number one, you'll be getting super excited because you'll say, oh wow, you're also coming from Sri Lanka, me too. But at the same time, how about the one who is not? So the little one will look at you. So make sure you show your connection, show your professionalism in a very clever way. So don't just attach to the little boy or little girl who is coming from the same cultural background as you. Because you are the teacher, you need to work with everyone. Everyone, okay? Not just one. I know you have a special preference. Usually, most teachers have a special one that you like in the class for some reason. But as a teacher, you need to really act very professionally. Okay? As Sandy mentioned, we have quite a lot of children with disabilities, special learning needs in Australia. The percentage is now getting higher and higher. That means I would imagine almost 90 to 95% in your classroom, you will have some children with some kind of special learning needs during your placement and in your future career as well. But we will have some courses in the program to teach you. Now, another thing in Australia is what we call another culture, is that we call the sense of humor. In Australia, we love to have that sense of humor. I bought a book for you called The Rock Book. Have you read this one before? Ah, okay. Can you put your hands up if you're going to graduate tomorrow? Excellent. Okay, that means you're trained as a teacher. Now, I want you to invite two of you, okay? One of you hold the book, the other one read the book. Okay? Can I invite the two of you, please? One to hold, to turn the page, and the other one is to read the book. Okay, so you might need to turn around and use your teacher voice. Make sure all children, remember there's the children here, okay, make sure they can see. So adjust your position, well done. Okay, so you will see quite a lot of something like this when you are in Australia. That means some of the books you have never seen before. You will need to read on the spot. You have no time to prepare, okay? So, I choose one which is quite a, not many words, okay? So, everyone know who's going to turn the page? Who's going to read? You can turn later. After half of the book, just turn, okay? So, here we go. This is the book called By. Okay, so off you go.
Hi kids!
Hi.
Okay, so today we are going to read this book. So this is called The Wrong Book by Nick Blatt. Okay? Ooh, who is this? A little boy. Okay, let's read and see. My name is Nicholas Iku, and this book is about... Who is this? What is this? Elephant. What do you call this part of the elephant? Trunk. Good job. So we are going to talk about an elephant. Okay, and this is little Nicholas. Okay, wait a minute. This book isn't about an elephant. Oh, we guessed it wrong. Go away. You are in the wrong book. Let's see what this book is about. Okay. My name is Nicholas Iku, and this book is about monsters. This is a monster. What are you doing here? This book isn't about monsters. Go away. You are in the wrong book. We guessed it wrong again. Okay, the little boy says, my name is Nicholas Iku, and this book is about... Let's see if we guessed it right. A pirate. Excuse me, but this is not a pirate book. Go away. You are in the wrong book again. Okay, let's see what's next. My name is Nicholas Iku, and this book is about... What is this?
Carpet.
It's a red carpet. Okay. A queen. Okay. Oh, look at the queen. This book absolutely does not need a queen. Go away. You are in the wrong book. Okay, so this book is not about elephants, not about monsters, not about a queen either. My name is Nicholas Iku, and this book is about... You want to take a guess?
No.
Let's see. Rats. I hate rats. Go away. You're in the wrong book. Okay, so this book is not about rats either. My name is Nicholas Iku, and this book is about... Who is this? What does it look like? A puppet. Let's see. A puppet. Where's the puppet? Oh. Will you please go away? This is not a book about elephants, monsters, pirates, queens, rats, or puppets. You are all in the wrong book. And lastly, it says, my name is Nicholas Iku, and this book is about me.
So this is one of the books that get the Australian Children's Book Award. Okay? So when you are there, you have lots of this type of books, and it's a good sense of humor, and also children love, and also it's easy to read for some children, and well done team. And you can always pick up something like this from the Deakin Library and then bring to the center for placement purpose if you want. So Deakin Library has lots of this type of resource, and you don't need to go and buy, but you can borrow and you can use it in your placement for the right age range of children and based on your need. If you think, I'm not very good at reading and you can't read lots of words, then something like this will be very engaging, and it's a good way to ask questions to interact with children as well. Okay, now, and the other cultures in Australia is about sustainability. This is another book that I bought. So I'm going to give to someone in the back. Now this one has quite lots of wordings. You can see, I'm not expecting you to read everything. But can you turn around and then, if you have a book like this, right on the spot, what are you going to tell this class of children then? Okay, so just turn a few pages and highlight some of them that you think will be interesting for you and by you. So do you want to stand up and then turn make sure everyone can see, just select a few pages that interest you and why.
And the parents could stop the child from sipping the water.
Can you turn the book around so that everyone can have a look and understand what parts you're talking about? Okay, well done. Can you pick one more page and then let us know why that page looks interesting to you? Because the sustainability is a big thing in Australia. And when you do your preparation for classes, make sure all the materials are recyclable. Okay, choose something which is super recyclable. Okay, next page.
Someone's growing big and tall. What to do with the clothes too small? Let's pack up our hand-me-downs and take them to the store in town. So in this picture, there is a child who's growing bigger, and his clothes are getting smaller. So it says, let's pack up our hand-me-downs and take them to the store. You can give the clothes that you've grown out of towards a store in town that other people could use.
Oh, excellent. Great. Can you turn around a little bit so they can read properly? Well done. Okay, so well, you can. So what I would like to highlight is the culture in Australia. Now you can see in those books, number one, no specific skin color, no specific age, outlook, boys and girls, children on wheelchairs, everyone's will be featured in this book because this is what Australia values. So when you plan for your curriculum, make sure you choose a wide range and culturally and physically inclusive materials and super recyclable. So in this case, that will put your placement and also your experience in Australia will be much, much better. Now, in your program in Australia, during your study in DCAT, it's quite small, but you can download the course map in the DCAT web page. That means you will need to work with the indigenous culture, children in the indigenous background, and also children with in different ways to engage, and also the inclusive education, children with special needs as well. Okay. Now, food and drinks, lunch. How to deal with your own lunch. Now, in Australia, in childcare settings, we call progressive eating. Progressive eating means children will bring their own food to the center, and they will eat when they are hungry. Not everyone will eat at the same time. So you can see throughout the whole day, every now and then, children will stop, and then they will go to their little cupboard and then take their food out, and then they will eat. So as a teacher, you will need to have a look. Let's say you have 15 children in a classroom, working with another 3 to 5 teachers. So which one have eaten, which one have not eaten, make sure you keep a good eye. What you need to do is to encourage and remind children to eat, but not force them to eat. Okay? So if, let's say, little Yasara has been playing for the whole day, not one single sip of water, then as a teacher, I would say, hey Sarah, it seems like you're having fun. So do you want to have some water? So do you want to have some water, or would you like to have some water? Or I will bring my own water and I will sit down next to Yasara and then I will just play. Another way to remind Yasara, it's time to drink water. Okay? So progressive eating depends on everyone's meal time because we want them to feel their body. It's time for children to learn how to have the self-regulation. They need to know hungry, what to do, cold, what to do, hot, what to do. It's their job to learn. Now, children usually bring their own lunch box, and you will also bring your own lunch. Top number 1 tip, no nuts in center. You cannot bring any nuts to any center across Victoria. Okay? So when you buy food, make sure you check in the ingredient. Make sure there's no nuts in the things that you pack and bring to the center for you to eat. Even if you eat it, you cannot have you eat it in your lunchbox. Because you most probably you will sit down and eat with the children. Okay? And we don't share food. If children say, hey, I want to eat, what is in your lunchbox? And you can tell them, oh, this is a sandwich, and it has a lettuce, it has tomato. If the children say, can I taste? You say, maybe not, but I can wait up to you. Can you ask mommy to prepare to you tomorrow, or daddy to prepare to you tomorrow? Don't share food. Okay? Because in Victoria, we have the highest allergy across Australia. So, and then you will most likely eat your morning tea and lunch with the children. So make sure you find times to eat. Work with the teachers. What time you will eat, what times I will eat. So not everyone's eating at the same time. So the teachers can have the shift to work around their own arrangement. Okay, any question, comment so far? So by the time before you go to placement, we will have some more reminders of you as well. So the key thing is that we want to make sure children are safe, peace, and inclusive environment. Now, final thing is digital. All of you have a mobile phone. Most centers will not allow you to use the mobile phone during your placement time. So make sure you keep your mobile away in the locker. And also, most centers not even allow you to use your mobile phone to take photos or documentary purposes. Check with the principal. Because as a principal, I don't know whether you will take the photos and then upload to your own Facebook. I need to protect my children, but I don't know how are you going to use the photos. So that's why check with the center. What will be the best way to take photos? And usually when you take photos, make sure no faces, no children's faces. Okay, you can take the furniture, you can take you can take from children's bag. Make sure there's no children's faces. Now, these are the very important things. Consent. Get the consent from children, from parents, from the center, from the teachers before you take any photos. And then where are you going to collect and where are you going to store those photos? Is that in your own mobile phone? If so, if your girlfriends or if your boyfriends pick up your phone, would your boyfriend or girlfriends be able to see the children? If so, no. Okay. Now, how are you going to use them? Can you upload it onto your own Instagram? No, exactly. When you are in the center, when you are out in Australia, for example, don't just take a photo and then upload it onto your own Instagram. Especially with children under 18 years old. We have a very, very strict law for child safety and child protection. And then for disclosure, how are you going to delete photos? Are you going to just delete from your phone? How about the iCloud? If you upload everything into your iCloud, is there still a copy there? If so, make sure you delete everything. So again, those are parts of your learning when you are in Australia. Because of the mobile devices we have, so those are the things that you will definitely make sure you have all the application. Okay, so far, A stands for active learning, outdoor, with clothing. B stands for babies and toddler. C stands for cultures. You can see some of the books so that you have been reading. D stands for your digital devices. Just be extra mindful when you are there. Number 5, E. So education. So what you're going to do is that you're going to be a qualified teachers in Australia. This is the current salary based on the recent government data. So the top one is child carers for those who have a diploma. If you are going to have a degree, you are going to be the bottom level, which is teachers. So carer and teachers are two different careers. Teachers have a higher salary and have a higher professional career path from there. So you can work as a teacher, you can become a room leader, you can become a curriculum leader, and you can become a principal. Okay? So you are looking at the bottom level. That means that is the salary roughly per week salary in Australia. Now, you might say, wow, the salary looks very happy. But Australia tax is quite high. So just make sure you save enough for the tax as well. Okay? So these are all arrangements. The good news is look at the growth. 21% growth. This is the government projection for the next 3 to 5 years. So that means you will have a high chance to get a job and also to secure an arrangement there. So what you're going to do is to move on to the yellow box from PCHE. According to Australia guidelines, you are now at level 5, AQF level 5, Australia Qualification Framework, AQF level 5. So after working with Yasara and Sandy, so all three of us and also the team, now you have a jump all the way from level 5, skip level 6, and now you are in level 7 in the yellow box. Good news is that it saves you time and money. The bad news is that you need to work very, very hard because you jump from level 5 to level 7. So make sure you spend time to study, to do your assignment, to do your reading, because you know that you are going to jump from level 5 to level 7, which is good news, save you lots of money and time. You can keep doing. And if you say, hey, I would love to have like Bonnie in front of my name, I have the word doctor, then go and get a PhD, and that will be the place where you can add your doctor in front of your name if you want. So in terms of the future 100 jobs, early childhood education is definitely going to stay. This is one of the research done by the Deakin colleagues to look at what are the 100 jobs that will stay in the future. Early childhood educators, yes, it will stay. Because you're going to study in 2024, by the time when you finish, it's 2026. So we are planning approximately 3 years ahead. By the time when you start working, it's 2027. So that's why the 21% goal and the future jobs are so important when you select your career. So those are the things that will definitely give you a very good position. Okay, so he's come to the end of my presentation, and I would love to see all of you tomorrow on your exciting day. Get your hair done, get your nails done. And any questions before Sandy is going to give the letter to some of you as a kind of congratulations letter. So, question, comments? No question. That means you're ready. Have you packed your luggage? So, otherwise, I think I'll see you tomorrow. And what would you suggest to do? Work soon.
I think that something like this need to observe it over a period of time, because sometimes like it may just be a bad day and you may observe, oh, maybe it's a bad week or something, and you think, oh, this whole week you haven't brought this like certain things. I think jumping to conclusions is something that you shouldn't do. Maybe observe over a month or so. I think then you can really gauge whether it's a problem or whether it's just, oh, they are having a bad week or so. I mean, even in the preschool I work, one of the kids, most of the time, all the parents work. So they send donuts and rolls, and then you're like, okay, like, you know, this is not a very good diet, especially in the morning for like breakfast, because we eat at like 9 in the morning. So then we are concerned, so we observe over this short period of time, and then if we think, okay, like they're not going to stop sending a donut or rolls, then we'll just suggest, maybe you could send something like this, maybe your channel like this, and they might ask us, what do you suggest we pack for our ship to send for the child? And then we would say maybe something like this, something like they can also eat on their own. I think something like that you need to observe, and then as you said, speak to your supervisors and get their advice on it. And if they also think, yeah, it's been a long time, maybe we need to speak to the parents, and then they can tell you, okay, just maybe some family members in India, they're not able to do it.
Good point. Good point. Any other suggestion? Any ideas?
So we have a smartphone is cases of functioning rings. And I think Samsung is the provider
But like, how would you go about the allergies, the kid's allergies? Something could I, let's say,
Yes. The center
would know.
Yes, the center.
Yeah. I don't think a child can enroll to a centre without a full medical history review.
So I absolutely agree. These are good tips. I always say, well, 3-letter O, observe, and then opinion. Seek some opinion from the supervised teachers, because the teachers has been working there for a long time, or even the principals. And then the third one is the open communication. So it can be open communication with the parents, and also open communication with the children. Now remember, you are not a lunchbox police. You can't police the lunchbox, okay? But you can talk about it in a very skillful way. For example, bring a teddy bear to the center and say, hello everyone, we are going to do a teddy bear picnic tomorrow. What should we put into teddy bear's backpack? So when children talk about another person, instead of your own lunchbox, they feel more comfortable to talk about what to put in. Then you can talk about what is a healthy eating should look like or could look like. Because you might think, well, let's say watermelon is very healthy, but it can be super allergic to candy. So something healthy to you might not necessarily health okay for the other person. You're going to kill the person because once they eat, some of the allergy can be super bad. To the extent that that's why we said no nuts, because even you eat your nuts in the classroom, the person sitting in the dorm can send to the hospital within 5 minutes. So because of some kind of things in the nuts can really cause that types of something in the air that will put the child in a very, very risky situation. Now one more reminder, if you want to have a hot drink in the center, something like this, you cannot do it. Do you know why? It's correct. So if you want to have a hot drink in the center, you must have a lid with your cup. So if you bring a cup to the center for your own drinks, make sure the cups has a lid on it. Otherwise, you cannot have any hot drink in the center, not just a hot chocolate. You can't have it. Okay? So a cup like this, no lid, is a definite no. Even you have it in your center. Hello, how are you? Sorry. How are you? Good. Hello. Come on, Sarah.
So thank you, Bonnie. It was a very informative and very comprehensive session on practices in Australia in early childhood education. And once again, thank you so much for coming all the way to this occasion tomorrow and also doing this session just after landing in Sri Lanka at 2 a.m. in the morning. Thank you so much. And thank you, Sandy, for your presence today and for all the support provided. So Bonnie and Sandy both will be here for a couple of hours. So you can, if you have any questions, you can still come up and speak to them, right? And also any questions regarding your transfers or, so we are currently processing your applications, the ones who are transferring to Australia in February next year. So if you have any questions, you can definitely come and speak to us. Thank you.